Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brianna, and today we're going to be going over how to start a garden on a budget. Gardening can seem very overwhelming. There's so many things you do and you don't need. There's things that are great but you can do without. So I'm going to show you guys some ways of how I'm starting my garden up inside right now. Utah, it is cold, so we're going to start inside. And just in different ways I'm going to save money and kind of how I'm doing this. You don't need crazy pots, pans, devices, how to use this. So I want to show you guys how I'm going to do this very, very cheap. Alright, so before we get into this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. So to start out, you need something to grow your plants in. Now, at the end of the growing season, you go to your local nursery. A lot of times they can be giving away free plants, and even if the plants don't look good and you don't want the plants, you can take the pots that they're in and reuse them. Another great way is just normal cups. So I'm just using these solo, and then I have these Chinette ones. We'll be putting holes. You can see I already have holes in these ones. I need to put them into these Chinette. And then since they're gonna leak and you wanna be able to have a place for them to, you wanna be able to water from the bottom up. It's the best way, and for water to kind of sit there because you don't want water to get everywhere. You want it to be able to drain. What we're gonna be taking is I found these trays from the dollar store. I have a trash bag. I'm going to cut this up, put this in the bottom. I'll tape it around the sides so then it's waterproof. And then I can just line these containers with all the cups in them, and that will be my growing little box for them. So again, really cheap, really easy. I love things you can find at the dollar store to be able to use. The next is seeds. Seeds are really not that expensive. If you're going to go buy plants, of course, they're going to be expensive places. But getting seeds, my favorite place is, I will put down below my favorite place to get seeds. So you guys can go check those out as well. And then, now you don't have to have these. You really could use just popsicle sticks, whatever. But I found these are relatively cheap off Amazon. You just write the name of your plants, whatever you're planting. I put dill here because I have one type of dill. But if I'm going to be doing a lot of different types of tomatoes, I'm going to name each tomato depending on the variety it is. So those are already really easy just to write on, but you can find cheaper options. The next thing I have back here is some shop lights. Now online they said they were in a 2-pack, but it came in a 4-pack. I don't know if that was just a fluke, but shop lights are a great thing if you're going to be growing inside. They're a cheaper option than a lot of your grow lights, and depending on what you the research you do on them, shop lights can still do good. They might just need to be closer. Sometimes they don't get quite as much light, but they're still going to do the job. So I have those. You just want to make sure you track the lumens. You want them to be, I believe, above 4,000. How you can get to 7,000 the better. These are 5,000, and I'll put the link for those as well. They were $24. Again, I thought it was a 2-pack. 4 came. I'm not really sure why. The next thing I'm using, which is really great for using seeds, again, maybe it's not a necessity, but it's really good to have a growing mat that will help heat up the seeds and keep them a lot warmer when you're growing them. My mat is all the way back here. Sorry, I can't really show it. It's already plugged in. I'm kind of in a weird spot. But that's an easy way to be able to keep your seeds. This is my favorite one because it is flat, so it is a little bit more money than some, but you gotta get what you can. A lot of them are thicker, and I'd rather have a thin one. It just makes more sense. Another thing I'm using, you can add a lot of different fertilizers, but for right now I'm just going to be using worm castings. So this is kind of the only thing I'll be using to plant my seeds or starting them out right now, which they're really, really great. Soil, you can get soil from anywhere. I definitely have my favorite varieties, but what you're trying to look for is a soil that does not have a lot of wood chips in there. Wood chips really help prohibit the seeds coming up. They don't need to be there. They end up taking a lot of they put a lot of bad stuff into the soil, and they're going to try to break up, and that takes away the nutrients from what you need from your seeds. So try to get a really, really low woody soil. The soil I'm going to be using, it was from last year. I started using it. I ended up having a baby. You probably hear him crawling around, and a lot of my seeds all died off, and I couldn't even think about it for like 2 weeks of watering or doing anything, and a lot of them died off. So the soil has been kind of used, but not a lot. If it was to be used a lot, I'd want to rejuvenate it. Now I'm not going to be doing that because I feel like I had still really good soil. So the only thing I'm going to do adding back is the worm castings once I'm ready for planting. So there are ways to do that. You can do your research on those if you're wanting to reuse your garden soil, your potting soil. But there's a little thought. So, like the bucket I have this in now, and you don't even need this bucket. You just want it it's from the dollar store. You don't have to. Again, I just put this in here. I got all my soil ready. It's ready to plant. I will be planting. And how I kind of prep the soil, I soaked it because you want to make sure it's nice and wet to be planting. So let's get in. I'll show you guys how I'm prepping my garden and getting it all ready getting my seed areas all ready to be planted. Alright, so I got my gardening. I got this bottom box ready. It doesn't have to look the nice, it definitely doesn't, but it's gonna do the job. So I have this bin from the dollar store. I cut up the garbage bag and then I just taped it around the edges. So I have a nice place to put my plants so then they can drain really nice. The next thing I got, now you could drill, you could do whatever you need to. I have a wood burner. Wood burners are really nice and they're great for this. So all I'm doing is doing 3 different holes. They may melt really fast like that. So I have my 3 holes and I'll just do that for all my plants. I'm going to need 8 of these. You really could do multiple at a time. Maybe don't do multiples, the holes might get a little too big. Alright, so I finished with all the holes in my cups, so then I can just I'll put dirt in, I'll fill them all up, and then I can get planting. So that's really nice to be able to do. It's really cheap and easy. You can do kind of any just cups from the store. I probably wouldn't do paper, like maybe you could, but they're gonna leak a lot more, so whatever you need to do, it's really easy. So hopefully you guys kind of like some of these tips. Gardening, starting seeds doesn't need to be super expensive. You could really use a lot of things around your house, and it doesn't have to be a big investment. So hopefully these guys help. Please share it with someone you think that wants to start seeds, needs some encouragement for starting seeds, whatever you think would feel helpful. And I will hopefully see you guys next week. Hope you have a great day, great night. God bless.